Lay Down Your Arms from Asia on Chum's Rock and Roll News, a track from the, I guess it's still new, we can still call it the new Asia album, Aqua.
Yeah, I mean, it can't have been released that long here, really, I suppose. 10 weeks, maybe a little bit longer.
That's recent enough for rock and roll. We have two of the men who co-wrote that song from Asia who are playing in town tonight. We've got Jeff Downs and the new guy, John Payne, in the studio with us. Welcome to Montreal. Welcome back to Montreal in Jeff's case, and welcome to Montreal in John's case.
Thank you.
I wish we had better weather for you, but this is what you get in February.
Actually, it's not too cold here. I expect it to be a lot colder.
Well, I know all about February in the Montreal area because we did our second album here.
That's right.
February we came out.
And you were up north at the studio in Morin Heights.
That's right, yeah.
Right in the foothills of the Laurentians.
Very happy memories of my time in Montreal.
Now, I don't have to tell you how big Asia has always been here, not only in Montreal, but the whole province of Quebec, and also your days with Yes. You've seen the outpouring of love, but did you prepare John for what our audiences are like or reputed to be like?
Yeah, I mean, we share a house together in London, so I sort of gave him a breakdown of what it was like. But I mean, you know, John's been with the band now for 2 years, so it's not really he's not really the new boy in our eyes. But obviously, this is the first album with him as a vocalist.
You played Quebec City, what was it, 2 nights ago and 3 nights ago, and last night you were in Sherbrooke.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, we've had. I mean, the audiences around the world have been very, very positive about the new group. It's they see it as more without the hype, I think, that the original group had. And that wasn't necessarily coming from the band, but we had this sort of supergroup tag. And I think people see us now as Asia as a genuine rock and roll band that go out and play to people and make their music. And John is very well prepared to deal with all of that side of it.
We were talking off air about the fact that people no one was ever quite sure at any given point if Asia was still together, if you had broken up, if the Greatest Hits album was a reunion album for you, but in fact you obviously had always been together, just with various personnel members.
Yeah, I think we lost, certainly when John Wetton left the first time in '83, I think we lost a lot of confidence from both the press and radio and also the fans, most importantly. We lost a very good loyalty following that we had at the time. And we got into that whole thing of people leaving, people coming into the band. I think Asia at that time started to look, as you say, pretty fragmented. And I was very conscious about when we decided, or when John decided that he was going to join the band, subsequent to John Wetton's departure from the group. I think we felt that we really wanted to build it on a very solid foundation and have more continuity with the group and its albums and everything like that.
We're going to ask John a question to wake him up because he's nodding off there. We got to keep you in good shape for the show tonight. Was it daunting or a challenge to come into a band that has had such a wealth of material that's so well known that John Wetton sang and have to step in and sing all of those songs that we come to expect to hear John Wetton's voice?
Yeah, it was in several ways, mainly because one of them, I was a big fan of Asia's in the first place, and people like Jeff and Steve and Carl, it was very strange to actually be playing in a band with these guys. But from the singing the songs and that point of view, it wasn't quite as daunting as I first expected, because Jeff gave me the freedom to interpret the singing the way that I wanted to. I think Jeff chose me because I didn't sound exactly like John Wetton. I think it's so wrong when a band chooses a new vocalist and they choose a carbon copy of the guy, that it's totally the wrong thing. I think people feel cheated. Whereas now this is a new chapter of Asia with a slightly harder direction, maybe. But I mean, going back to the old songs, it still was much fun to do the old songs, and tonight we'll be on stage for 2 hours doing music from every album.
You just answered my next question, because I wanted to use something from the very first Asia album, one of the first releases on the fledgling Geffen label at the time, and I think also one of the very first rock videos of the modern era. I remember seeing it on TV saying, what the hell is this? It was for Heat of the Moment, I think, right?
That's right, yeah. It was a great time for the band. Obviously, the first single, and within 5 weeks we were #1 in America. I mean, it's quite unheard of in a way.
Must have been terrible.
No, but long term, it was not good for the group per se, because it where do you go from that point? You can't go up from number one. You go down.
So that's all these expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you do the song tonight?
Yep.
Okay, well, we'll hear the original John Wetton studio version right now, and we'll come back and chat with Jeff Downs and John Payne of Asia in town tonight at Studio Montreal. This goes back about 10 years now, and a few months, give or take. This is Asian Heat of the Moment on Shom's Rock and Roll News. It's a song that's very familiar to our audience here in Montreal. Heat of the Moment from Asia on Shom's Rock and Roll News. Jeff Downs, keyboard player, songwriter, backup singer, and John Payne, lead singer, co-songwriter, bassist, and sometime guitarist.
Sometime guitarist, yeah.
Sure, we're going to put you on the spot and get you to do something for us acoustic in a minute or so.
Maybe.
And we should
twist
plug...
my arm.
We saw you do it on Music Plus, and if you do it for them, you've got to do it for us. We're all owned by the same company, and what you do for them, you've got to do for us. I just want to plug the show. It's in a relatively new venue. It's called the Studio Montreal. You haven't even seen it yourself.
No.
And it's at 8820 Saint Laurent. That's north of the Metropolitan. If you're going by Metro, it's just a few steps away from the Cremazy Metro. If you're taking your car, they have free valet parking for $900. So you can just leave the limo at the door and someone will park it for you.
Oh, that's nice.
And tickets will be on sale right up until showtime. I guess the tail end of the recession, $18 price, which is really reasonable for a band of your pedigree with a catalog of material. That
a band this bad, yeah.
No, I don't say that. See, I know you're joking, but people who are listening might not know that. And people are calling and saying, is Steve Howe opening for Asia? Is he in the band? I know that Carl Palmer and Steve Howe appear on the album, but why don't you tell us exactly how Steve fits into the show tonight?
Well, I mean, it goes back to when we were actually making the record, and Al Petroli had done the guitar parts that we effectively asked him to play on there. And I think both John and myself felt very strongly that there was a certain ingredient lacking in the guitar area. And I gave Steve a call just on the off chance at the time to see whether he'd be interested in coming back into the fold and playing some stuff. And the next thing, a couple of days later, he turns up with all his guitars, thousands of them.
Backing the trucks in at the...
And, it's kind of started, it started again from there. And with, he obviously played some wonderful stuff on the album. And when we started touring, we asked him if he'd come and join us, and he said, yeah, sure. So it's sort of, it's developed like that, and Steve's been with us since June.
About 80 or 90 concerts, probably.
Yeah. And it's also it's a very nice thing for the fans, because they see, the angles of the old band as well as seeing a kind of fresh energy that's coming from the new boys in the group, the new blood, keeping those old boys occupied.
And
but it's also nice that Steve, as well, for the Yes fans and people like that he halfway through, we leave the stage and he does a few acoustic numbers. And I should imagine he'll probably play the clap tonight, and that always goes down really well.
Mm.
And you had Carl Palmer, well, founding member of Asia, but he recorded, and I was a little surprised because Emerson, Lake and Palmer had released their own album around the same time as the Aqua album came out. We had an ELP in town about 3 weeks ago.
Right, yeah. Well, obviously Carl's involvement has become more and more intense over the last year with the LP. I think they were not sure, and we were not sure how intense they were going to work. But we've had Trevor Thornton with us now since May, I think, and he's a fantastic drummer, really excellent. So people, as I say, people see a lot of energy from the new boys and a bit of expertise from the old chaps, hopefully.
You're being so modest. I mean, you are a legend here, not only in Montreal, but around the world for all the work you've done, and you're being so modest. It's really nice to see. We got to take a quick break. I hope you can stick around for another couple of minutes, because John has committed to playing us an acoustic tune.
Have I? Oh.
Okay.
Sign the pact with the devil when you walk in. We'll be back with more from Jeff Downs and John Payne of Asia right after this.
You have your universe
on Shom FM. Randy Renault, Neil Kushner, Jeff Downs, and John Payne of Asia. You were in town tonight. You excited to be back in Montreal?
I'm excited to be back.
Answer the right question. I'm talking to Jeff now.
Quick on that, yeah.
Yeah, it's great to be back, certainly. As I said before, we had a lot of very happy memories from when we made the album here. And as you said, this area is very, very much into people from the progressive rock era. It seems to be province of Quebec seems to be very much probably one of the strongest areas for this kind of music in the world. So I think, it should be an emotional return tonight.
Oh, you're not going to cry again, are you?
We get a lot of artists, especially Europeans and Englishmen. Is that the politically correct term? People from England, from Great Britain, who, especially after touring throughout the United States, say it's great to be in Canada. It's great to be here in Montreal.
Well, I think that's probably because it has Canada. This part of Canada has a sort of partly American and part has quite a strong European influence, and so it feels a little bit like home to a lot of Europeans when they come here because there are certain similarities,
It's really strange for me. I mean, I've never been to Canada before, and we spent quite a bit of time in France touring at the later part of last year, and it really just feels like France. It's so strange.
I hope that's intended as a compliment.
Oh yeah, no, I love France. We're actually going to record some of the album in Paris. The next one.
You've already started writing material for the new one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
in the early stages.
I think, we have been going for nearly 2 years now on this album, so it's about time we started thinking about the next one. This is really the last part of the tour for us on this album, and then we're just going to get our heads down and get on with the next one.
We saw you do this on Music Plus this afternoon. This is a track from the album, your album.
It's a song called Heaven on Earth, and as you know, it's only been performed ever once, which was today on the other program. So
this is a semi-exclusive, almost exclusive.
Yeah, almost exclusive. First time ever on radio.
Well, we'd be happy to have you do it for us.
Pleasure.
This is John Payne of Asia, live, exclusive, almost, on Chum's Rock and Roll News.
I'm caught in the heat. Hold your head as you sleep. How can I close my eyes watching you? Get so deep inside from emotions within, burning the night with the truth. Sweetest poison, positive attraction, raging in my mind. Oh, if you walk away, you take the life from me. Oh, if you walk away, you take the air I breathe. Life would be lonely, more than you'll ever know. You put all heaven on earth. I hear the sound of your voice from the breath of the wind. I feel the touch of an angel next to my skin. Cut so deep inside, it draws out the light, harder with every time. Sweetest poison, positive attraction, raging in my mind. Oh, if you walk away, you take the life from me. Oh, if you walk away, you take the air I breathe. Yeah, yeah. Life would be lonely, more than you'll ever know. You've put all heaven on earth.
On Chum's Rock and Roll News, you said page 4 of the CD, right? On Music Plus?
Yeah, I don't know if I was right. I just guessed at that.
Heaven on Earth.
I was right.
There you go. John Payne Music. Who's Nye?
It's a guy I used to be in a band with, Andy Nye. He used to be in the Michael Schenker group, the keyboard player.
MSG.
Yeah.
Sounds like something you'd put on your Chinese food. I guess it isn't. Heaven on Earth can be found on the new Asia album, Aqua, one of the many tunes I imagine you do tonight.
Actually, we don't. This is why it's even more of an exclusive, really. We actually don't play that track live.
Oh,
yet.
Great. Okay. So we got an additional song out of you.
Yeah.
2 hours and one song.
2 hours and one song, yeah.
Studio Montreal is where it all takes place tonight. You've got a label mate of yours, Acosta Russell, opening up, doing an acoustic set, I believe.
Yep.
And then you're on stage, I guess, around 9:15, 9:30.
Sometime around about then, yeah.
So come and check out this new place, Studio Montreal. I'll be down there to introduce you, if I may.
Yes,
You'll still have me after this. 8820 Saint Laurent, that's north of the Metropolitan. It's a new place. A lot of people still don't know where it is, near the Cremazy Metro, or if you're taking your car, free valet parking for $900, and tickets at only $18 will be on sale right up until showtime. Thanks a lot once again for
Great
taking
pleasure.
the time to stop by.
Thanks very much.
See you all later tonight.
And we look forward to seeing you back in town on the next time around and on the next album.
Sure.
Right.